Greetings, my friends, and welcome to the Reading Epic Threads live stream. 7:50 p.m. Central Standard Time, July 6th, 2021. I'm so delighted to have you here today. This stream brought to you in part by angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. Do you wonder why your skin feels dry, even though you're using lotion that you buy from a CVS or a Walgreens? Well, it's because the corporations that make those lotions hate your guts and fill their lotions with all sorts of skin desiccating, profit maximizing poisons. Nothing like that in Angel Paste. Just food grade plant oils made by patriots for patriots. Angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. It's got what skin craves. All right, so I want to start the stream today. Hello, Enzo the Baker. It's just you and me right now, my friend. As people file in, we're going to do a real quick one. Thanks to Special Ops Kim with the title, "You Have to Admit She Gets It." From Twitter, a thread by Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. I have expressed skepticism about her, but after reading this thread, I think I'm kind of done with the skepticism. I think you can say I'm a fan until she stabs us in the back with some unexpected vote. Marjorie Taylor Greene, a thread. Most of the people that I talk to daily are regular Americans, and I like it that way because I am one of them. This is everything people are saying that DC can't even come close to understanding because Washington can't relate. Here is a message from America to the swamp. People have stopped watching the news because they're sick and tired of the fake news media, including Fox News. People feel like the mainstream media is the most destructive, dividing force in our country. They know the media only reports what they want you to see. It's sad. Democrats are in major trouble going into 2022 for putting America in peril and in danger on two fronts, on the border and attacking the police. And Americans don't buy Democrat lies about either issue. All voters want safe communities, not drug-infested, gang-controlled violence. The 2020 election is still the number one issue to Republican voters. Many want it fixed before 2022, and even Democrat voters admit there was fraud with absentee ballots. Republican voters are furious at elected Republicans who won't listen or do anything about it, and they are most vulnerable in 22. Republicans are angry at the biggest Republican fundraising giants who are raising money to protect House members who voted to impeach President Trump and kick me, Marjorie Taylor Greene, off committees. Donors and voters want a fighting GOP, not a spineless GOP, and they don't want their money going to rhinos. No one cares about the Delta variant or any other variant. They are over COVID, and there is no amount of fear-based screaming from the media that will ever force Americans to shut down again. Forced masks and vaccines will cause Dems to lose big. All voters are over COVID. Americans don't care how many scoops of vanilla chocolate chip ice cream Biden can eat and see the media covering up his pathetic failures as president. Everyone knows he's weak and puts America last. The media's kid gloves approach makes the media look corrupt, just like Hunter and Joe. No one likes Kamala, not even the Democrats. She failed miserably as a presidential candidate. Even people who work for her hate her. Big liability for Democrats in 2024. Dems' embrace of the progressive squad, aka communists, it's going to be their downfall. People don't want the Green New Deal. They don't want to be forced into dependency on Chinese batteries in their government-mandated EVs. No matter how many lies AOC tells on Chinese TikTok. Everyone hates Ilhan Omar, both sides of the aisle. She is an anti-Semitic, hate America, ungrateful refugee who married her brother and broke the law to get him in the country. Pelosi's protection of Omar is making her look bad, and America should send Omar back. The nonstop dog whistle labeling everything racist is broken. We've had a black president, a VP, woman of color, black members of Congress, and so many successful and wealthy black Americans. We don't care about color. We care about character. MLK's dream came true, thank God. Your identity is not your sexual preference or what you like to do in the bedroom. Most Americans don't agree with the invasion of trans biological men in girls' and women's sports. Don't forget, Dem voters have daughters too, and do not want biological men beating their girls. The persistent hate the American flag vomit coming from the radical left makes the Democrat Party look really, really bad. The Stars and Stripes stands for freedom all over the world, and every U.S. soldier that died fell on a battlefield defending our flag and our freedoms. If you don't like America or our flag, then get the hell out of our great country and go live in some other shithole socialist or communist country that shares your hate for America, our flag, and our God-given freedoms. You don't deserve to be an American if you hate our flag. Signed, the American people who pay all the taxes that fund the federal government. And that's the thread from Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I don't really think, now that she's gone that far out, I don't think there's really any way that I can say anything against her, right? All right, let's say a quick hello to everybody. Then I want to do a thread from Zuby, and then we'll do the Arizona update. How does that sound, guys? Mermaid Miss K, Richard Rohrer, Claude Bernardin, Rex Tullis, Cheesy Moto, Heather P, Fiber Freak, Hipster Cat, Memento Mori, Bruno's Mom, Richard Rohrer 11, Andy Foster, Joanne Pappas, and then a new name, L54NT4L. Hello. Can you shine your forehead, please? I need to see my future. That's delightful. Okay. I think my forehead's actually pretty shiny right now. All right. Let's see. Dabney Delcon, Dolinik, Olinik, Epic Jill. Let's just get through real quick. Cha-cha-cha 22, 7DG5, Baldylocks. I hope that worked out for you on Bittrex. I was doing a little tutoring session on crypto with Juliet earlier. Misty, JC Bird, Enzo D. Baker. Thank you, all of you, so much for being here. I think we're going to have a fun stream. I want to do the Zuby thread that Special Ops Kim sent me, then the Arizona update, and then I want to bring you some stuff about the infighting that's been happening on our side. And I think I've got some rules of thumb that you can basically live by to give yourself a better, for us to have a better army of digital soldiers. We apparently have issue 38 of St. Richie already in my inbox. Thank you so much, St. Richie. I can't wait to read it today. One Alchar2, nice to see you. Hank Danger, how are you? We have a great show coming up for everybody. So thank you so much for being here. And now, without further ado, let me read you a thread sent to me by, of course, Special Ops Kim, from an artist who goes by the name of Zuby. Zuby Music on Twitter. 20 things I've learned or had confirmed about humanity during the pandemic. 1, most people would rather be in the majority than be right. 2, at least 20% of the population has strong authoritarian tendencies which will emerge under the right conditions. 3, fear of death is rivaled only by the fear of social disapproval. The latter could be stronger. 4, propaganda is just as effective in the modern day as it was 100 years ago. Access to Limitless information has not made the average person any wiser. 5, anything and everything can and will be politicized by the media, government, and those who trust them. 6, many politicians and large corporations will gladly sacrifice human lives if it is conducive to their political and financial aspirations. 7, most people believe the government acts in the best interests of the people, even many who are vocal critics of the government. 8, once they have made up their minds, most people would rather commit to being wrong than admit they were wrong. 9, humans can be trained and conditioned quickly and relatively easily to significantly alter their behaviors for better or worse. 10, when sufficiently frightened, most people will not only accept authoritarianism, but they will demand it. 11, people who are dismissed as conspiracy theorists are often well-researched and simply ahead of the mainstream narrative. 12, most people value safety and security more than freedom and liberty, even if said safety is merely an illusion. 13, hedonic adaptation occurs in both directions, and once inertia sets in, it is difficult for people to get back to normal. 14, a significant percentage of people thoroughly enjoy being subjugated. 15, quote unquote, the science has evolved into a secular pseudo-religion for millions of people in the West. This religion has little to do with science itself. 16, most people care more about looking like they are doing the right thing rather than actually doing the right thing. 17, politics, the media, science, and the healthcare industries are all corrupt to varying degrees. Scientists and doctors can be bought as easily as politicians. 18, if you make people comfortable enough, they will not revolt. You can keep millions docile as you strip their rights by giving them money, food, and entertainment. 19, modern people are overly complacent and lack vigilance when it comes to defending their own freedoms from government overreach. 20, it's easier to fool a person than to convince them that they have been fooled. Bonus thought. 21, most people are fairly compassionate and have good intentions. This is good. As a result, most people deeply struggle to understand that some people, including our leaders, can have malicious or perverse intentions. This is bad. If you enjoyed this thread, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my music and weekly Real Talk with Zuby, Z-U-B-Y podcasts. I have a couple things to say about that. First of all, thank you to Special Ops Kim for sending that to me. I don't know how many of you wonderful people were in favor of lockdowns when they first happened. This is a special audience. We really are the elite. But what we need to do is get together a group of people who are willing to come out and say, I was in favor of lockdowns and I was fooled. I was in favor of lockdowns, and because I was fooled, I took the wrong stance and supported the wrong policies. The more people who come out in public and say that, the more people in private who will feel comfortable with it. There are a great many people who privately realize the cataclysmic folly of their support, their public support of lockdowns. People who were at one time good people and have turned into bad people by becoming lockdown proponents. They can become good people again, but not until they repent. Public repentance is the only way out of this. Let's see if we can get it started. All right. Without further ado, mesdames et messieurs, I want to bring you, thanks to Among My People, the epic part 1 of the Arizona election audit update for Reading Epic Threads, July 6th, 2021. Get my lemon water to maximize my vocal performance. Hello, Patrick and Patriots. There is a twist in the plot. Last night, I entered a wormhole on Code Monkey Z. After I crossed the gate, I felt taken by paranoia. To escape, I have to tell the tale. Quote, Code Monkey Z posted a lot about Getter and Miles Guo, the Getter investor from China. Code Monkey released a few videos, one of Miles swearing loyalty to Xi Jinping in 2017. The post said, quote, Miles Guo's loyalty oath to President Xi Jinping is allegedly taken from a longer video published in 2017. But another Code Monkey post crashed me more. It included a tweet from J. Michael Waller, who posted a picture of a hug between Miles Guo, Getter investor, and Steve Bannon, and the words, quote, Steve Bannon, Chinese pal. And then hashtag Miles Guo was asked at a federal court trial on April 22nd if he was still working for the CCP intelligence service. Instead of denying it, he took the Fifth Amendment not to incriminate himself. Hashtag Guo Wengui didn't follow up on his last hashtag. Ron Watkins then asked, quote, anybody have info or documents proving the alleged quote from trial on April 22nd where Miles Guo allegedly took the Fifth when asked if he was a Chinese spy? And then I read an even more concerning post from Ron. Code Monkey Z wrote, quote, for full disclosure, last year I received an anonymous message warning me to not discuss the projects of Miles Guo and Bannon, end quote. Ron continued, I will take that advice and won't be discussing unproven or unverifiable allegations made against Miles Guo. You can find them yourself if you are interested. However, I am not scared to republish video and image statements that Miles initially published himself, since the first rule of the internet is that nothing on the internet is ever deleted. And Ron goes on, quote, it is important for you guys to see this content before making an informed decision about joining Getter. Also, yes, I majored in Chinese literature. I am fluent in Chinese. I can read Chinese, and I can verify that what he says in these videos does match the subtitle translations, end quote. Ron ends this part of his communication to Patriots saying, quote, I initially learned and studied Chinese so I could read ancient kung fu manuals in the source language, end quote. And that is not yet all. Code Monkey Z continues with another piece. This next thing he posts says, quote, Miles Guo threatens to kill someone named Zhang Wei by reporting him to the Chinese Ministry of National Security, Chinese equivalent of the CIA, to be rubbed out. It appears that Zhang Wei wrote something that pissed off Miles Guo. And Ron asks, if you write something on Getter that pisses off Miles Guo, is he going to report you to the CIA to be killed? Then Ron posted another video in which Guo said anyone working for the CCP is our enemy. Ron went on to summarize, quote, what we know. Miles Guo aligns himself with politicians and people who are anti-CCP. Miles Guo is anti-CCP because his personal clique inside the CCP lost power in a purge, circa 2013, 2014, when many of his friends were arrested as political prisoners. Miles Guo was tipped off and fled China before they could arrest him. Miles Guo has said that he supports the Chinese President Xi Jinping in a video published in 2017. It is unknown when the video was recorded. It could be from pre-2013 purge. It is also possible that the video was recorded under duress. Miles Guo is heavily involved in American GOP fundraising and narrative building. And Ron ended his summary saying, honestly, I don't know if Miles Guo is trustworthy or not. There is a thick cloak and dagger fog surrounding him. Just be careful and do what you can to limit your risk online, as you should be doing on any social media platform anyway. Always use a VPN, Tor when you can, and try not to put too many personal details into any internet platform. Back to among my people. So what I know is that I need to backpedal on two things I said yesterday. On both things, you have to use your own discernment. Collect all the data you can and make your own decision. Each one, make your own decision. Item number 1 regarding Lin Wood. Collect all the information you can from both sides, from all sides. Item number 2 regarding Getter. The data from CodeMonkey surfaced last night. I barely touched the tip of it. Do your own research. The term co-opt is important. Definition: to use or take control of a movement for your own purposes. They steal movements. They set patriots against patriots. They use money to compromise members, or they use one's flawed life to threaten them and make them back off or do things against their own will. The attacks on Lin Wood may suggest that the attacker has been co-opted, either with sums of money or by pushing the button of a flawed life. Setting us against one another is the easiest way to get our attention away from their corruption. Do not let them fracture us. Do not fall into hate, and do not break into factions. Something happened with Cates and Victor. We need to check if they were threatened. That's part 1. I hope to be back with part 2. Thank you, Patrick. All right, so those of you who weren't here for the talk about Cates and Victor, I'm going to give my opinion. Take it in what sense thou wilt. Brian Cates asked a bunch of questions about Lin Wood. What kind of questions? For the moment, it doesn't matter. Lin Wood, between November 3rd and now, has been saying freaking crazy ass shit. You name it, dude. He might as well have been saying shit like aliens have been hiring private investigators to molest children on special time-traveling cameras. I don't know if anything he's saying is true or false. The point I'm trying to make, he's been saying some weird shit. That's Lin Wood. Very much on our side in the election fraud, very much fighting for us, but gets on Twitter and accuses everybody of God knows what. And he's a defamation lawyer, so whatever he's freaking doing, I personally think there's some kind of rhyme to his reason, method to his madness. But Brian Cates asks a bunch of reasonable questions. He's a complete prick while asking the questions. Bad move, but they're reasonable questions. And so Lin, having been asked these questions by a guy who's acting like a total prick, responds by saying Brian Cates is a disinformation agent. Brian Cates responds by saying something like, no, I'm not. He's kind of gotten off the topic. Victor got in and had a psychotic break and started doing like accountings of, it started virtue signaling about the Holocaust for reasons I can't figure out. And then the numbers he did added up wrong. And he couldn't even get a spreadsheet together he's off his meds. Forget Victor. So my point is this. There's no chance that Brian Cates is acting in bad faith here. He just acted like a prick and shouldn't have. And Lin Wood is just being Lin Wood, a constant 100% weirdo firebrand. That's all that's going on there, my opinion. All right. Joanne Pappas, rule of thumb, stay cool. Okay. I bet he's nice in real life, just like Victor. Are you talking about Brian? Or are you talking about Lin Wood? You might be right. I don't know. Oh, you know what I haven't been doing, my friends? I haven't been checking into the Odyssey live stream. I gotta real quick say hello to everybody who's in Odyssey because you guys are the best. Hey, first of all, I would like to thank Sudan for a 5 library credit tip. Sudan says in the super chat, amen. So thank you very much, Sudan. Much appreciate. There are 17 of you watching right now. Epic Jill, Pack Leader 58, Bobby SV, Tidings friends listening from Casas Adobes, Arizona. Becky Bian says, that voice. I hope you're talking about my voice. Starduster CT, nice to see you. All right, all you wonderful people on Odyssey, thank you so much for being here. So I hope that I gave a basic summary of the like kerfuffle going on. It really just started off because Brian Cates decided he's going to ask the reasonable questions, but he's going to be a total freaking prick about it. And I really regret it too. And then when people got mad about it and said, you're a dick, he said, let me tell you something. If you think that he has video of Justice Roberts and you're not intelligent, he made it worse. Anyway, I can't live without Brian Cates' reporting. He's one of the best out there. So it's so obnoxious to have to be even-handed about this because I really, really appreciate his work. All right. Part 2 of the Arizona/Michigan/Pennsylvania/all the audits update for Reading Epic Thread, July 6, 2021. Statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. Election reform must happen in swing states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia, Wisconsin, and Arizona, where voters have lost confidence in their electoral process. The Secretary of State in Pennsylvania allowed 21,000 deceased registrants, dead people, to remain on the voter rolls for the 2020 presidential election. A total disgrace. Republicans in state legislatures must be smart, get tough, and pass real election reform in order to fight back against these radical left Democrats. If they don't, they'll steal it again in 2022 and 2024 and further destroy our country. Arizona Senator Wendy Rogers says, quote, audit Republican strongholds for machine and voter fraud. You will be able to find so much without interference from the left. Audit all counties that used the machines, even in red states. So important to demand election integrity. Don't just do it in swing states. A post by a prominent account, not sure who, brought an article that read, quote, Bernie supporter exposes Dominion and ES&S, that's us in Texas, ES&S, voting machine fraud. Watch this video from progressive Dr. Laura Chamberlain, where she talks about voting machine fraud with Dominion, ES&S, and algorithms being used to flip the Democrat primaries away from Bernie in 2016 and 2020. The post ended pressing forth this point. If we want to unite the largest possible coalition around election integrity, then we need to push for forensic audits in red states, not just swing states. 2. Seth Keshel. In the intelligence world, a key counter-intel indicator that your buddy has possibly turned into a spy is unexplained affluence. That means he's a captain making $90K like the rest, and all of a sudden he's living like a rock star every weekend and driving a car he can't afford. That is a huge red flag and often brings an investigation. Seth uses it as an analogy to the visible spike in votes. What if Biden gained 1 million votes by not campaigning? Yes. Counter-intel indicators are all lit up, but there is a counter-intel operation going on the lines of data does not matter. 3. Professor David Clements posted today, July 6th, about donating to the Arizona audit. Quote, Arizona's forensic audit was estimated to cost between $5 and $8 million. The existing funding flow from private donations to Arizona State and Cyber Ninjas has not resulted in adequate or timely funding for the Cyber Ninjas to keep going without unnecessary delay. Matt DiPerno has stepped up to help with fundraising and will directly forward all funds to the Cyber Ninjas. Matt DePerno has agreed to provide regular updates and transparency on money received and disbursed. Please go to EIFFTAR.org to donate directly to Arizona's audit. Let me copy the link address and get it in here for you. Please hold for the processing. Here we go. All right, bam. Go there, guys. Sorry, it's not the most memorable URL. Also, Matt DePerno was just, according to Patrick Byrne, talking total shit. Don't talk shit about Patrick Byrne. He has dumped tons of his own money into this. If you're talking shit about Patrick Byrne because you think he's a grifter, then you are the problem. And I'm talking to you, Saul Montez Bradley, you absolute enemy fucking agent. Don't talk shit about Patrick Byrne. You want to talk shit about Patrick Byrne? Do it somewhere else. I'm just going to put that right out there. And it's not just because we share a name. Professor Clements also said, quote, "You know what resolves all the factional backbiting and name-calling from the Patriot titans out there? Transparency, a budget we can all see, the exact amount of money raised, an accounting of how that money has been spent, how much is still needed to complete the audit. Simple questions require simple answers. If the above information was readily available, I'd be happy to direct folks to donate to other funding efforts, including Patrick Byrne's. It's not about DePerno. It's not about Byrne. It's not about Flynn. It's about getting resources to the auditors struggling to make payroll that have left their families for months to do work on our behalf. Egos suck. A well-funded audit doesn't." Please excuse me for a moment while I take care of this, okay? From Patrick Byrne. This is from Patrick Byrne, addressing snot, spit, and tears from DePerno. "Someone has just called to inform me that there are people who are still expressing snot, spit, and tear suspicions that I or the America Project have scammed or profited from supporting the Maricopa audit. Evidently, Matt DePerno in Michigan is spreading this lie. Let him know on my behalf that I said he's full of shit. Just so you know, the America Project has in fact sent $3.3 million to Arizona, out of which we raised $1.1 million from you, the public. You do the math. Gold star if you can guess who made up the difference. Just so you know, Matt DePerno is full of shit about this. However, it is indeed the case that we should love to continue to take donations for Maricopa. Nothing stopping you. You can give once here. 100% of locals' gift subscription is funding the audits through the America Project. I promise everything that is given to Maricopa is sent to Maricopa and a lot more." And now I want to share this video with everybody, so just give me a second. I want to share a video from Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. All right. Please hold for processing. If you hold for processing, you will not be disappointed. Bam! Bam! All right. Here we go, y'all. Oh, fuck a duck. Give me a sec. Sorry. Okay. Let me try this again. All right. 100%. I would like to apologize for my rank incompetence. Wait a minute. Why is there no sound? Let's try this one more effing time.
Absolutely, there's a simple fix to this. It's not over, and we can fix this. And it's very simple. It's just controlling the paper. Very simple.
Please forgive me. I picked the wrong bloody video. Guys, I'm showing you this video if it kills me. All right, 1 second. Okay, sorry. Let's try this again. All right, first of all, stop. My rank incompetence is really just really sucking right now, but we're almost there. Watch this video by Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. Are you fucking serious? Okay.
About a lot of misinformation that's made. Hey guys, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer here. I want to talk about a lot of misinformation that's making the rounds on social media, and some of the amplification that's going on by well-intended patriots, but even amongst the citizen journalists, you kind of have a duty to try to verify out the facts before amplifying it. And I've been through this before with people talking about findings in the Fulton County ballots online and votes and all this other stuff. You know, there are rules of how these audits and stuff go on, and there's rules how you talk about things. And sometimes even the best intended post can set things back. So I want to set the record straight today so people can understand where little misinformation got amplified from what's going on. The citizen donations to Arizona, the last official number I was able to extract, and by the way, I just had this discussion with both Doug and Patrick this morning, going over the numbers, said, let me understand what's going on. There has been a little over $1.1 million donated by the public to the effort. However, there has been $2.6 million put out for the effort. Now, if you do quick math, you understand that the public donated $1.1 million and what's been paid in so far is $2.6 million. You basically understand there's $1.5 million difference that came from somewhere. And of course, that came from Patrick Burns. Those are the real numbers that have gone on. And I know there's been many hundreds of thousands additional today that were put in to keep covering expenses of the audit as they're ongoing, because there's still stuff that has to be done in Arizona because all the machines weren't turned over. And so I would ask all of you well-meaning patriots, before you amplify a story that brings into question the very people making it happen and the audit, pick up the phone and call. At worst case, I'm so reachable because I understand people need good information. Ask me, I'll go ferret the information, just as I did on this. But to say that things happen just based on rumors, not good. The second part of it, in many ways, these agreements have confidentiality items with them at the request of the Senate. That's the number one thing. If the Senate requested, and that's their rules, that's their rules. We kind of have to abide by them. Secondly, and another well-meaning thing, now let's look at all transparency and let's see this and let's see where this went done. It sounds good in practice, but let me give you another angle. If there was a super secret way to find super horrible things, and that had to be detailed in agreements, but you don't want nefarious people knowing that, so they can't go run trying to clean up a mess they created. You want to make sure it can be exposed. You just don't go touting certain things in public. You please have to understand this. This is, all of this stuff is a very weird animal, but there's a lot of misinformation on both sides. What you really need to be concerned with, like my most concern right now is Michigan. I am terrified about Michigan. I just hung up a very long discussion with Matt DePerno. I am extremely terrified by what's going on in Michigan, that the Michigan people will be placated with words and less than half measures and not what really needs to be done. There are real battles to fight. I know it's cool to have a lot of people following you and you got a great news story, but just like anybody, citizen media or otherwise, you got to get the facts right. And the best way to get the facts right is go to the source. The left reports all kinds of erroneous facts. Their hallmark is they don't go to the source. because the source will correct them and give them the real facts. And so they ignore the source. And I would implore you as a citizen journalist, do it differently. Do it differently. Get the facts in many cases before you amplify. It's better. That's why I admonish people saying a long time ago that the audit was over when it wasn't, or saying 1.5 million bad ballots have been found when that was total horseshit. That hurts everything. There's a process here, folks. Let the process work. But 1 million in by the public, 2.6 million out to cover the cost so far, and that jumped over to 3 million today. Okay, so there's a big difference between the public putting in 1 million and 3 million actually going out, and that's made of reaching in pockets internally and making that happen. Take care. Thanks. Bye.
So, guys, I'm not trying to be a dick, okay? But Patrick Byrne has been shelling out hard for this. I don't know if he deserves to be that rich. I don't know if the man is a super good guy. But Patrick Byrne is putting everything on the line. Everything on the line. So from the bottom of my heart, let's not do this. All right, let's continue the update, my friends. And by the way, Matthew DePerno, I'm on his side too. Just freaking put your note, just wow, okay? Just freaking stop it. Next, 4. Kanakoa the Great posted on July 5th. Quote, here is the affidavit by Cy-Fear's Ben Cotton on an anonymous user remotely accessing the Antrim County, Michigan Election Management Server System, EMS. First, he points out IP addresses from Taiwan and Germany. Each machine was connected to the internet by Verizon modems. All of the administrators shared the same password except 2 who didn't use a password. The hard disks weren't encrypted. Microsoft SQL was set so an unauthorized user could manipulate the database. The Antrim EMS last updated their Windows Defender antivirus on July 16th, 2016. Lol. An anonymous user logged on November 5th, 2020 at 5:55 and 56 seconds p.m. and 11/17/2020 at 5:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. End quote. Kanakoa the Great then asks, ironically, I think, how were hackers able to get past all the administrators using the same password, the administrators not using passwords, and still managed to get past Windows Defender Antivirus 2016 to access the most secure election in history through the Verizon modems connected to the internet? 5. Portland Antifa celebrated July 4th by burning American flags and with calls for burning down of all police precincts. Thin Blue Line TV reported with a video of the chants while flag burning. Every city, every town, burn the precinct to the ground. They wrote, totally not domestic terrorists, but just peaceful protesters. I'll give them credit. I mean, their poetry scans just fine. I mean, it's not Claude level poetry, but it scans. I'm just saying, it's got decent meter. Every city, every town, burn the precinct to the ground. All right. Good job, Antifa. 6. I wanted to ask if you think the reason Nancy Pelosi, Elizabeth Warren, and Dick Durbin may have gotten into the 1-6 detainees issue as presented in Chanel Rion's report is because they are paving the way for when their insurrectionists start to face justice. I wouldn't know. It's a damn fine question, though. 7. B. Hizzy posted on July 5th, quote, I would encourage all of you to start making YouTube videos about the audits to reach as many people as possible. The Gateway Pundit, Epoch Times, etc. is an excellent way to get the news to talk about, but more importantly, it's about your deliveries. Give your opinions and encourage other people to take action. Send them to Populist Revolt. It's not just about giving updates. It's about mobilizing people to take a certain action to fuel our movement. Use your phone cameras if you have to. Record horizontally and encourage people of how we're winning big. 8. And to end, just for fun, Kaneko the Great posted this CNN spreadsheet. When is it okay to question election results with a hysterical laugh emoji? All right. 2016 presidential, is it okay to question? Yes. 2018 Georgia state election, is it okay to question? Yes. 2018 Florida state election, is it okay to question? Yes. 2021 New York City mayoral election, is it okay to question? Yes. 2020 presidential election, is it okay to question? No, you bigot! Tee-hee. Hope you enjoyed, Patriots. And Patrick, thank you. You are greatly appreciated. Talk about appreciated. You make this stream great. Thank you so much among my people. Genuinely humbled by your continued writing these reports for us. Now, let's talk about Angel Paste for a second. I mean, we need to talk about Angel Paste. By the way, Natman10 is now following me on Twitch. Natman10. Let me tell you right now. And Natman10 has an avatar picture that looks like a mask with 2 little X's on the face. Anyway, Natman10, you rule. I don't know who you are, but I suspect I know who you are. Probably know who you are. I don't know. Natman10, thank you so much for following. All right, real quick, Patrick Byrne just uploaded something on. All right, is this a video? All right, I'll get to the Patrick Byrne in a second. I think it's kind of time for us to talk about Angel Paste and then St. Richie. So let's do it. Guys, do you have dry skin? Dabney Delcon says, be hizzy. Do you have dry skin? Well, if you do, it's because you're just dumb. I mean, right? If you have dry skin, it's because you don't have Angel Paste. And if you don't have Angel Paste, it's because you haven't been to www.angelpaste.com and used promo code Shapiro. It's kind of tragic, to be honest with you. Angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. For the few laggards who still have dry skin, you need to know it's got what skin craves. It's got electrolytes, guys. That's literally true, by the way. I mean, electrolytes just means anything that can conduct electricity. So I'm pretty sure this can. I just don't even know if it has electrolytes. Angelpaste.com. All right. Now, let's check into the Odyssey chat because you people are awesome for being here. Water picker. So what's on the plate today, Patrick? Just managed to tune in. Crap, I was several minutes behind, just caught up. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Becky B. Ann says, amen. I've been writing at least weekly to our Attorney General and Secretary of State to do a full election and primary audit. We know our rhino governor is on China's favorite governor list. Ooh, what state? All right. Starduster, Connecticut is Christine Daly. All right. Excellent. Becky B. Ann, who are you? But in any way, Becky, I don't need to know who you are. I need to know what state you're from, sweetie. Hook me up with Indiana. Wow, that was fast. Indiana. Wow. Guys. This is going to end up being a 14-hour stream if I say everything that pops into my head. And we're already pushing an hour. Wow. Okay. So lots of true blue, Republican, conservative, patriot states. Frodo Tolkien says it puts the lotion in the cart. So let's just put it this way. Indiana is red, red, red. And they've been stealing votes in Indiana for a very, very long time. We're going to fix this. If they can friggin' shoehorn an open criminal like Liz Cheney into office in Wyoming, they can fool any group of patriots. But we're waking up, dude. And Indiana is waking up. Becky B. Ann, I urge you to go to your county party meetings. Really, raise some hell. All right. With that in mind, oh God, Hank Danger said something cool. I'm going to put this right here. Give us this day our daily moisturized skin. Hank Danger. Nice. All right. Next, there's only one St. Richie. And he writes for us. This is one of the, I read it sight unseen. We just pull it out. That's what she said. And it's downloaded. Bam. Open when done. Please hold. Your skin will drink it up. Ah, there it is. All right, let's do this thing. St. Richie, issue number 38. One thing I'm noticing, guys, is that if I do really, really lengthy streams, my voice starts to go. Fun fact. So I'm going to keep them under an hour and a half. Once we get to that point, I stop talking, just because you can kind of hear the hoarseness in my voice as it is. St. Richie, issue 38, Drop Dead Fred. I was out driving yesterday and ran across one of those narrow but huge metal bridges that stretches the entire width of a river. But it is only one lane, so there are stoplights on either end as to prevent head-on approaching traffic. But after snapping the picture and waiting for the light to turn green, I noticed this. Okay, for those of you just listening, it's a sign that would normally say stop here on red, but then in red paint, the letter F is put in front of the word red, making it look like stop here on Fred. I was startled to say the least, and of course, my first instinct was to look down to see if Fred was there, and thank goodness he was not. But the questions kept coming, like, why a red letter F? Is this meant to imply blood or evil or death? Perhaps I overreacted. Perhaps I was reading too much into it. Perhaps I was just being a conspiracy theorist. This does happen, you know. Sometimes we just imagine things are transpiring when often there is an easy explanation. But what about valid questions? What is a valid question? Who defines the criteria on what is or is not a valid question? Personally, I get my questions from my own research and not from the latest episode of Beard Blather. I have a few questions, if you will indulge me. Who killed Ashley Babbitt? Whatever happened to John Sullivan? When will the 300 plus charged from January 6th event ever see due process? Why are dozens of the January 6th detainees being held in restrictive housing, which means 23-hour-a-day isolation, even before their trials begin? Why was Robert Mueller completely unfamiliar with Fusion GPS and Christopher Steele, the Clinton DNC-funded contractors who originated the Trump-Russia collusion conspiracy theory? Why did George W. Bush nominate Robert Mueller over Dan Webb for FBI director? Why did Mueller become FBI director on September 4th, 2001? Why did Dan Webb and his law firm, Winston and Strawn, later represent Donald J. Trump in 2018 during Mueller's investigation? Why did Rudy Giuliani and Dan Webb co-found the OCDETF, Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force? Whatever became of the startling revelation that Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld made on September 10th, 2001, when he disclosed that his department was unable to account for roughly $2.3 trillion worth of transactions? Why did Stratasec, who was over security in the World Trade Center towers, not provide the requested security schematics for the World Trade Center towers? Why was Stratasec, formerly known as Securicom? Why exactly did Marvin Bush, son of former U.S. President George H.W. Bush and brother to former U.S. President George W. Bush, serve on the board for Securicom directors from 1993 to June of 2000? Why was Stratasec delisted from the American Stock Exchange in June of 2002? Why is the collapse of Building 7 not so much as even referenced in the 9/11 Commission report? Why was the body of Osama bin Laden dumped into an ocean before anyone in the world even knew about it? Why was the closed circuit video recording of Jeffrey Epstein's cell erased by technical errors? In 1993, why did the FBI and ATF decide after a 51-day standoff that it was suddenly an appropriate time to kill 76 people, including 25 children and 2 pregnant women in Waco, Texas? Why did the Boston Marathon bombing 2013, the Oklahoma City bombing 1995, and the siege in Waco 1993 all occur on April 19th? Why is there still no proof that COVID-19 is actually a virus? This is literally just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to legit questions. And the Reading Epic Threads community apologizes to nobody when it comes to our approach. We largely are seeking wise counsel from people like the praying medic, Michael Flynn, and others, not the least of which is President Donald Trump. And we have been very selective in our tracking of Q. And even if we are not precisely perfect in our choices of whom we follow, that does not change the fact that we are acting in good faith. Asking questions is critical to independent thought. You should be able to literally ask any question you want without fear of being ridiculed or labeled or libeled. If rational human beings with legitimate questions about past and current events cannot ask those questions without becoming the targets of the self-proclaimed sages of the internet, then we have a serious problem. Actually, we have no problem at all. Those self-proclaimed sages have the problem. You see, a true sage assumes nothing and allows for anything. They can balance toughness with grace because they have been recipients of both. Looking like a bearded wise man is one thing, but conducting yourself as one is altogether different. It is important we differentiate between the real thing and the countless imposters. Because one is like a maestro and the rest feel more like Muppets. That's the latest from St. Richie. St. Richie, thank you for that work. Thank you for saying what I feel, but so much more eloquently. And not that anybody had to ask, but when it comes to all of the questions that St. Richie just posed, I can tell you that I have learned enough by the year 2021 to know never to ask any of those questions to the sages of the internet, self-proclaimed, at social.quadvirum.com. All right. I'm super duper stoked. Guy Smith, I don't know jack shit about Sandy Hook, but I can tell you right now, I'll never ask Brian Cates for jack squat about it. He'll send me some articles from the freaking Miami Herald. Sorry. I mean, it's just not worth it. It's not even worth it. All right. We're now at 58 minutes. And I want to get some Special Ops Kim stuff. Got some non-time sensitive stuff from Jason, so we'll check it out on a later thread. Let's Special Ops Kim. Let's do a Claude poem. Because we can't live without, we got to get at least one Claude poem in per episode, right, guys? All right. The Rust That's Inside Me by Claude Bernardin. July 6th, 2021. I live in a country where apparently total freedom no longer makes sense to everybody. That ain't cool. I live in a country of half empty, half full. I live in a country where you're wrong if you feel how you feel when you want to feel, that instead prefers apathy. Caught in some scheme of oxidation and reduction left over from the nifty 50s. I live in a country where 50% of this great house of independence wants liberty, and the other half is okay with a liar and some treason and some tyranny. America is feeling trapped and uneasy. America, don't lose your spirit and desire, your beauty. America, you're running on 4, worn down, bald tires. America is a flag wrapped in barbed wire. America, you've got ideas. You've got the heart and the pliers, America. Don't let them tuck you away up under the rafters, America. Stop trying to be clever. Stop saying whatever. Stop trespassing on whomever. You know that you're better. You've still got your hope and salvation, love and faith, and they last forever. Thank you so much, my wonderful poet laureate. What would we do without you, guys? I mean, there's nothing else to say. All right. Now, from Andy Foster. By the way, check out usadevolution.com. usadevolution.com. Andy Foster's blog. You can get Devolution merchandise. You can get all sorts of good stuff. And now, Andy reports. Update. Was Kenosha Antifa, who chased Kyle in the Capitol on January 6th? Addendum update. 5 July 2021. Gateway Pundit published an article today. Revealed images of police officer firing flash bombs at peaceful Trump supporters, including seniors, women, and children, on January 6th. While watching the second video posted by Gateway Pundit from the Pragmatic Constitutionalist, I noted a tall Antifa galoot at the 29-minute mark. By his posture and gait, I immediately thought of the Antifa couple that were photographed in Kenosha. See below. They both appear to be of the same height and, as I mentioned, similar gait and posture. Steve Baker, the Pragmatic Constitutionalist blogger, that's him in the upper right corner of the video, narrating the scenes, also noticed the galoot and remarked that he was carrying a stout stick wrapped in grip tape, basically a melee club for bashing heads. Just the kind that any Trumper would carry to a Trump rally. #sarcasm. As detailed below in my original Twitter thread, the couple appeared to be controllers that followed the child rapist, who shall not be named, Rosenbaum, that was the first to be killed by Kyle in self-defense. I did not see the girlfriend in the video. Judge for yourself. The first image is my best screenshot of the Antifa inside the Capitol. I've reached out to the blogger to see if we can get a better image from his original video. Anywho, I have a full thread on this anonymous guy at my blog, link at the top. Okay, so what I want to do for this, because this is more involved, so I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to get this over to Jill. And Jill, if you could just post the link on this social media, that'd be amazing. Scenes from Kenosha where the child rapist, Rosenbaum, who shall not be named, Rosenbaum, was confronting Kyle and other patriots and cursing at them about an hour before the shooting. It is during this confrontation where it appeared they decided to stalk Kyle, probably because he was the kid of the bunch. The final picture is just seconds before Kyle kills the first piece of shit. He's the child rapist dude that Kyle shot is a little fucker. Anyway, just a little fuck. All right. Side note, the Pragmatic Constitutionalist also was 10 feet away as Ashley Babbitt was wheeled away by EMS. Like you, I've seen all of the other videos and believe her shooting was a hoax. After seeing his video, I'm having second thoughts about her death being faked. As they wheeled her out, there was blood dripping from the gurney as one of them was doing compressions. And the close-ups of the blood certainly doesn't look like Hollywood blood. All right, so okay, and her blood on the pavement. What we may never know is whether she was truly a random kill. Sure seemed like she was in on the hoax prior to the shooting, or if she was killed shortly after the shot seen by us all, because the deep state desperately needed a dead person as the Trumpers were refusing to take the bait to riot. I believe in their planning they were expecting mass casualties, yet the best they could get was one dead person. That's it for now, Andy. Okay, so I'm going to forward. Thank you so much, Andy. Very, very good stuff. And if I had more time, I would be focusing on this more. I'm going to get it over to to Epic Jill. Hopefully, Jill can get some of this linkage over into the social media groups for reading Epic Threads. All right. Whoa, Do we have, damn it, Claude. Claude sent me a video. Oh, okay, for my eyes and ears only. Cool. I'm going to put this as unread. I'll check it out myself, and then I'll report on it. Thank you, Claude. Okay. I thought it was a poem for a second. All right. Special Ops Kim. Some items from Martin Getty's Telegram. Martin Getty's channel. Subscribe to his channel on Telegram. If you're not on Telegram, guys, if you're not on Telegram, you're not a good digital soldier. You have to be on Telegram. Okay. I'm going to say it again. If you're not on Telegram, you're not a good digital soldier. That one's a duty. I don't know, Getter, Twitter, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Telegram is where we meet. If you're not on Telegram, you are shirking your responsibilities as a patriot. I hate to put it in such stark terms, but it's just the case. And if I have insulted anybody, then I just want to let you know that breaks my heart. Okay, Martin Getty's channel. Forwarded message from Zach Tolan. All right, so let me make sure I understand this. All right. Most people fail to realize that January 6th was also a white hat operation. More importantly, even than the incriminating laptops, was that so long as the news media were distracted by January 6th, they didn't seem to blink an eye. By God, this is just repeating something I said months ago. All right, many months ago. So I'm going to read this. This is a guy who might as well just be me. I'm not going to toot my horn anymore. I'm being kind of a dick today. All right. True mostly, except that most people fail to realize that January 6th was also a white hat operation. More importantly, even than the incriminating laptops, was that so long as the news media were distracted by January 6th, they didn't seem to blink an eye at the full-scale military invasion of Washington, D.C., which happened in the subsequent months. The military needed to invade D.C., and without a foolish baloney insurrection, the 25,000 troops they moved in would have seemed like the military coup it actually was. Although we know it was the good guys, the media would have painted them to be the bad guys. The primary purpose of January 6th was to provide a cover, and it worked. When was the last time the mainstream media said anything about the full-blown military coup which happened in Washington, D.C.? By harping on January 6th, they missed the real story completely. Q followers really need to awaken to this fact. Hey, we Q followers here in Reading Epic Thread. Hang on. Okay. We here in the Reading Epic Thread live stream, we got this. Okay. We are there. All the sages of the internet haven't figured this out. And God bless Martin Getty's for being one of the few who gets it. Next. I can think of a number of people who will feature in future textbooks on social media mastery as a form of literature. We are watching the Shakespeares and Dickenses of our age in action. The narrative is immersive and pervasive, so the storytelling is necessarily episodic and fragmented. It's enjoyable to observe the skill of others in promulgating their truth, regardless of what you think of their message or their character. I can even acknowledge the accomplishment of enemies and their ability to emit polished propaganda. The biggest question Anons should be asking about 1/6 is whether or not Trump invoked the Insurrection Act. He published a proclamation to disperse, which indicates that the option was at least on the table. If he did, in fact, invoke the Insurrection Act, then that turns everything that's happened since on its head. Fun fact. This is Jordan Sathers, so take it for what it's worth. You can trust someone's intentions, but not trust the information they're relaying at the same time. Consequently, you can trust someone's information, but not trust their intentions at the same time, too. I'm loving this. It's so important. This is so important. I'm gonna read this again. Fun fact. You can trust someone's intentions, but not trust the information they're relaying at the same time. Consequently, he means to say conversely. Conversely, you can trust someone's information, but not trust their intentions at the same time, too. Just because someone has it wrong doesn't mean they're a bad person. Just because someone has it right doesn't mean they're a good person. And then we got a meme that I'm going to skip. All right, from Steve Deese. There is some astonishing data in here, courtesy of Pew Research. Just 3% of the US population is responsible for 90% of the tweets you see. Only 8% of the US population is active on Twitter. If overall US Twitter users were their own state, it would be plus 15 Democrat, which would tie Hawaii and Vermont as the second most pro-Democrat states. If overall US Twitter posters were a state, a plus 43 Democrat, which is almost 3 times higher than infamous California. Twitter is not America, yet it's the filter of public perception that our elites use to rule America. Seriously, guys, that's very true. And the mainstream media is also a filter they use, which would be Democrat plus 100, which would be Democrat plus 90. And they're afraid of the mainstream media. I think it should be a crime to, whatever. I don't know what I think. All right, let's see what everybody is in. Mary Doe points out, we all have doctorates in troll detection. Very true, very true. All right, what is everybody saying? I bet you're all saying really great stuff. Oh, are you guys all talking about some troll that Jill probably banned? Telegram banned me and won't respond to my emails. Andy, bro, what did you do? Just start another. Andy, you were too dank for Telegram. Wow. All right. I don't know. Oh, hang on. Pronounced Steve Dace. Now I know. All right. Listen, Andy Foster, you get you another username on freaking Telegram. All right. Bet you white hats were within 2 feet of bet. I don't know, Claude. I don't know dick about dick. Here's what I know. I know that everything I just read in that Martin Getty stuff was spot on stuff we've been saying now. We have been saying that shit since I got back from Washington, D.C. in January. And we have been listening to Thomas Wichter, Brian Cates, and freaking Dwayne Cates just shit themselves with rage over January 6th. And these are the same people who have been telling us for years and years and years, you people don't trust Trump the way we trust Trump. Yeah, well, I'm the one who really trusts Trump. I trust the fuck out of Trump. You don't trust Trump. Oh, but you fucking cute people ruined everything. Fuck you guys. Anyway, we're the elites. Who killed Ashley Babbitt? Who framed Roger Rabbit? Mary Doe, that's going to send me down a freaking rabbit hole. No, you go down the rabbit hole and you tell me, because you know there's got to be symbolism in there. All right. Barbara, just assume for a minute that I don't know anything about architecture, metallurgy, or physics. And just tell me what's going on here. All right. Dolinik Olenik, Richard Citizen Journalist, blocked me, Keck. Bro, that sounds like a freaking good story. Write me a story. We don't know dick about James, so true. All right. No, who shot Ashley Babbitt? I don't know. Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. All right. Uh-oh, Quinn is down the rabbit hole. All right, well, better you than me, young lady. All right, Bill Wiebe. The Cates Bros and Wichter have a bad case of Saul anusitis. Bill Wiebe, I think that your diagnosis is official. Saul anusitis. That's what it is. That's what it is, guys. I think we know it. All right. Who shot at Ashley Babbitt? Not who killed Ashley Babbitt? Oh, man. Wow. Great point. I've seen dead people. Ashley looked dead to me. Rugman, where is my picture of dead Ashley Babbitt? Get me a picture of dead Ashley Babbitt so we can see if we agree with you. Okay, Rugman says, I've seen dead people. Ashley looked dead to me. Okay, so why is there no email? in my email box, pgunnels@gmail.com. It says, this is where I saw Ashley Babbitt on photo, in video, or maybe were you there in the room, Rugman 2015? I am interested at your exceptional reporting, Rugman 2015. I want to know. I need to know what it is that made you say Ashley looked dead to me. We would like to achieve your level of certainty. Help us. Thank you, Rugman 2015. pgunnels@gmail.com. All right. Starting to get a little punchy. All right. How about a pic of dead Osama bin Laden? Yeah, Joanne, that was my moment. That was my moment when I said, oh. That's basically what I said. All right. I think we're getting close to the end because I'm getting kind of punchy. But I'm not 100%. You know what? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the final post from Special Ops Kim. I'm never going to catch up with my emails at this point. It's just never going to happen because the emails are getting really, really long. We've got way more news than we ever thought we could ever have. And I can't do 3-hour streams. It'll just destroy my voice. So here we go. Dawn Z01 from socialquadvirum.com. Apparently she hasn't been banned yet. The top secret meeting of mainstream media, big tech, and intelligence heads is taking place this week. This week, top secret meetings are taking place between the top communications firms in the US, big tech, mainstream media, big media, and the intelligence community are gathering to strategize on how to consolidate their power over the information being force-fed to the American people. Mark Dice shares the following. Every time people talk about the mainstream media conglomerates secretly collaborating with each other, visions of smoke-filled rooms and shadowy figures wearing expensive suits sitting around a table come to mind. Well, this may be an exaggerated expectation at the behind-the-scenes look at the issue, but it isn't all that far from the truth. Every July since 1983, a small group of media moguls, tech titans, investors, politicians, and intelligence agency insiders all gather in the small town of Sun Valley, Idaho, for a week of meetings to develop the consensus regarding policies for mainstream media, social media, and emerging communications technology. It's basically like the Bilderberg meeting for media. And since tech companies like Facebook, Twitter, Apple, and YouTube have become major players in the media industry, they all come together each year in Sun Valley, Idaho, trying to make sure no emerging platforms can threaten their power. J.R. Winger responds, then there's a second problem. Even if there was massive fraud, what would happen next? Will 30 million people suddenly wake up to the shock and horror that an election was stolen? Think about where the culture war is at now. We're losing. We don't have to be, but we are. This guy's so ridiculous. Okay. But we are. The only hope is conservatives who are willing to rattle that culture. Things that are shameful need to be pointed out. I don't really think this guy knows what's going on. He's telling... I don't see any reason to spread this guy's ridiculousness. Kim, thank you so much for that thread, by the way. All right. So, Special Ops Kim from Facebook. Bob Anderson. All right. Let's do this one. Well, let's see how far we are. We're at an hour and 18 minutes. You know something? I'm going to save that one. I'm going to save that one for tomorrow because I want to run my mouth for a little bit and get your opinions as well. Because... shit's gotten weird. For 4 years, this community has, at least to a certain extent, been very much reliant on a very small group of patriots for their news and analysis. Well, one of the things about these self-proclaimed sages of the internet is this universal practice they have of ridiculing everybody who offers alternative explanations for anything. I've noticed it, but I think that only now I'm starting to realize that it was a grave mistake on my part to not realize that was a very, very bad sign. I don't really know what to trust from those guys anymore, but I'm definitely experiencing a change when it comes to my own opinions of those people. Mark Conway points out, Ashley died of COVID. I mean, I don't think there's any debating that, Mark. Is Juliet here? Probably, but Juliet is a listener most of the time. She's not a big chatter. Juliet will jump into the chat if she hears her name, basically. Total horse. Dodo. All right. So, all right, hang on. Andy Foster. But what if the deep state killed her off camera downstairs because they needed a dead body? There was plenty of blood outside as they wheeled her out. Go to Pragmatic Constitutionalist to see his vid. I provided the link in my email. Yeah, I need to look at that video, bro. I do. Roman 2015. The video of her outside the building. Hey, man, I hope it is all a ruse. White hat opera, whatever. Seems more like black hat if there's subterfuge. Nothing I would like to see is her having dinner with Trump and him asking her how her neck is. So, Rugman, when you come in by saying, I've seen dead people, she looked dead to me, that is kind of a tell for a certain type of behavior on the internet that a lot of us don't like. Doesn't mean that it's a universally reliable tell, but that's why I reacted the way that I did. All right. Matthew Trump. Creating legitimacy by distancing themselves from other conspiracy theorists. Yeah, I gotcha. It's gross, though. It's really gross. We really need to. Yeah. And then 1776 points out it's the Saul factor. Yeah, but that just shows. Oh, and Juliet pointed out something last night that I want to elaborate upon a little bit. So I called Brian Cates and Thomas Wichter and Saul Montez Bradley, and parenthetically Cates the Lesser, but I called them gamma males. Now, I haven't talked much about the sociosexual hierarchy, which was you could say first described by Vox Day, but it's a description of how men order themselves in hierarchy. So you have your alpha, you have your beta, or they call them bravos because the word beta male has a hugely negative connotation, when in reality, the second in command type, the beta male, the second in command is pretty badass. They're actually the more hardcore people. The alpha is the mastermind behind it all. Then you have your betas. Then you have your deltas. They kind of report to the betas, and they're your, staid, really, really stable worker types. They're awesome. They make the best husbands. Then you have your gamma males, people who should be deltas, but want to be alphas and secretly believe they should be the alphas. They're absolutely poison to any organization. But outside of the hierarchy, there are the sigma male, who is the guy born to be an alpha male but doesn't want the job. Short summary of that. Then there's the omega male, the guy who would normally be like maybe a beta or a delta, but also wants no part of the hierarchy and sits outside it. The omega male is typically a hermit, socially inept, but very, very often extremely skilled and useful. That is an omega male. And Juliet was sharp enough to point out that I was mislabeling them. Wichter and Cates are just very much omega males, and which means very, very valuable, but also never, ever put them on a pedestal. They don't belong there in any way. Mark Conway points out lambda males. Lambda males are homosexuals. All right, so I'm having a nice stream with y'all. So I got to check into the Odyssey stuff. All right, right now we got 18 of you wonderful people. Patty Nolan says, no, don't go. Once I get to, Becky Bian is also Sarah Lou. All right. Water picker. All right, guys, you guys are so wonderful. I really appreciate those of you who go into, Odyssey to do this. And I really appreciate the tips in library credits. That's a really big deal to me, guys. Not just the generosity, because library credits are really low in price right now, but it's in a certain way, it's really the the effort it took to acquire the library credits in the first place. All right. Lola Bunny Hop. Guess what, Lola Bunny Hop? You weren't making sense and I am banning you. You can ask to be unbanned. If you can't explain yourself, I bet you she can't. Guys, don't piss off Jill. She knows what's up. All right. See, I don't have to ban anybody. I got Jill. All right. Guys, you are the most wonderful people in the whole world. You make my life worth living. And you also are wonderful for buying angelpaste.com. Have you not bought angelpaste.com? I mean, AngelPaste from angelpaste.com. Promo code Shapiro. Don't do it, dude. I mean, do it, dude. But don't buy the garbage from CVS. It's just poison. Food grade plant oils. You know you want it. Angelpaste.com. Promo code Shapiro. If you want to send me money, PayPal.me/Bitcoin Armada. That's offensive and exterminationist. All right. If we're going to have trolls in here, we need good trolls. Good trolls. Just give me an ostrich. Oh, dear. That's what you get, Lola Bunny Hop. That's what happens. All right. Barbie Bear Angel Paste points out that a lot of these corporate scumbags companies put formaldehyde and other carcinogens in their lotions. Have you ever? Barbara points out that she now thinks, and if you look at the absolutely meteoric rise of autoimmune disorders in the very young, rheumatoid arthritis in teenagers, freaking narcolepsy, lupus, stupid, ridiculous diseases that children shouldn't be getting. They are because we are being systematically poisoned by a medical corporate industrial complex. And an enormous vector for all of those diseases is in a little thing that we have misnamed vaccines. But another vector for those things are additives put into a lot of the products that you buy and put on your skin. Makeup, lotion, other things like that. Lots of bad things in the water that comes out of your tap. Lots of different things that indicate to me that we as a people must start moving away from this superstructure. So Barbara pointed out to me a scene from a movie made in 1989 called Batman, starring Michael Keaton. Now, the Joker in this version, played by Jack Nicholson, has a background in chemistry. And he decides he will wreak terror on Gotham City by putting the components of lethal poison into various cosmetics, deodorants, mouthwashes, etc. So that when you use a certain one now, you're fine. Certain one over here, you're fine. But if you use a certain combination of them, it kills you. And then, he does a commercial telling Gotham about it, pointing to one person who's dead. It says, "He don't look happy. He's been using brand X. But with Smilex brands, I get a grin again and again." Where can I buy all these wonderful products, you ask? Well, that's the gag. Chances are you bought them already. So that's where we are at this point. One step is the way you moisturize your skin. Just oils, guys. Now, some of the do-it-yourself people say just use coconut oil. And I've used coconut oil on my skin. I compared it to the results I got with Angel Paste, a combination of various oils. Coconut oil is fine, but it's nothing like Angel Paste. Coconut oil will moisturize, but it won't exfoliate. That's the extra magic of Angel Paste. There's nothing else like it on the entire market. Angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro. Fun fact, by the way, frequent exfoliation causes the skin to regenerate better and it makes it look younger. Don't forget that. It's very important. All right. So now here we are right at an hour and a half. So all of you are amazing. Uh-oh. Dear Whisperer, my first bottle of Angel Paste is almost gone. We'll be ordering more soon for sure. Dear Whisperer knows what's up. All right. So, hey, everybody, thank you. Thank you so very much. I appreciate all of your support. To the people in Odyssey, thank you so much. Hungarian Medicine Man points out corn syrup is inflammatory. Guys, if you have to have sugar, pure cane sugar. Avoid corn syrup. All right, you wonderful people. I love you all. Oh, look at this. Starduster CT. My daughter's used up all of my scrub. Wow, that's badass. All right, guys. All of you people are so great. Thank you so much. I very much look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Let us pray. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all evil spirits who prowl about the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. I love you all. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and I will see you at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.